I'm Dwight Walker. As you know, Rossmoor has a dedicated and talented staff led by Tim O'Keefe that keeps things running smoothly around here. But in addition, the governing body of Rossmoor, the Golden Rain Foundation, also relies on resident volunteers. We're looking for a few good volunteers for the GRF Finance and Audit Committees. Are you looking for a volunteer opportunity? If so, Rossmoor wants you. You can help Rossmoor on its path to an even brighter future. Our community thrives on outstanding efforts by people like you. Are you looking for a way to give back to our community? Are you interested in meeting new people and learning more about Rossmoor? Please consider volunteering for one of the many GRF committees where your efforts will be rewarded. Today, we're here to talk about two very important committees that GRF board relies on for expertise and recommendations, the Finance and Audit Committees. You're going to meet several important people, including the Chief Financial Officer, chairs of the Finance and Audit Committees, and some dedicated volunteers. Here to tell you more is Mary Hurt, the Golden Rain Foundation Treasurer.
Hello, I'm Mary Hurt, the GRF Golden Rain Foundation Treasurer. Let me describe the purpose of the Finance and Audit Committees and how important they are to the GRF Board. The Golden Rain Foundation Board of Directors operates Rossmoor for the benefits of all residents of Rossmoor. It provides many diverse amenities and services, maintains buildings and other infrastructure, creates programs and new services to enhance the Rossmoor community, and adopts policies to ensure the security and protection of the community. Almost all the management decisions made by the board provide financing in some form. Amenities are set up, services are provided, and buildings are maintained or renovated to meet the changing needs of the community. The board relies on the financial expertise of the Finance and Audit Committees to provide it with an idea of the cost of projects and operations so that it can set priorities and manage Rossmoor. In addition, the Finance Committee meets with the GRF Board in joint session each September to set the GRF portion of the annual assessment or coupon. With only one exception, members of the Finance and Audit Committees do not need to be financial experts, but can draw on their life experience to understand budgets, review financial statements, and use their judgment to advise the board on financial matters. The committee chairs are committed to offering introduction sessions to new members on the financial reporting systems and the workflow involved. As treasurer, I serve both as a member of and officer of the GRF board and a voting member of the Finance Committee and a non-voting member and board liaison to the Audit Committee. Serving on the GRF Finance or Audit Committee will be a way for a resident to learn about the operation of Rossmoor and understand that they are making a significant contribution to continuing the excellence in serving the community. Now, our Chief Financial Officer, CFO Joel Lesser, will outline the Rossmoor financial reporting system and the function of the Finance and Audit Committees in reporting to the board. Thank you.
Hello, I am Joel Lesser, GRF's Chief Financial Officer. Let me outline how the Finance and Audit Committees work with staff and the GRF Board to manage the financial aspects of Rossmoor. Rossmoor finances have three distinct areas. 1, the Operations Fund, 2, the Trust Estate Fund, and 3, the Mutual Operations Division, or MOD. Operations pays the bills for salaries, utilities, maintenance, and most other operating expenses. Income to the Operations Fund comes primarily from the GRF portion of the coupon. The Trust Estate Fund is used to build and/or refurbish buildings and other capital assets, make loan payments on debt previously committed to projects, and hold contingency reserves in case of a disaster. Revenue for the Trust Estate Fund comes primarily from the membership transfer fees charged to a new purchaser of a Rossmoor residence. One of the primary responsibilities of the Finance Committee is to sit in joint session with the board and help determine the annual coupon allocated to GRF. Operating financial statements from each of the funds are reviewed monthly in open meetings by the Finance Committee and periodically by the Audit Committee. Board members and other interested residents usually attend as well. Financial recommendations are made to the board and discussed in open forum, allowing for issues to be raised to the GRF board through the Residents Forum. The Finance Committee also periodically reviews the trust estate projections and membership transfer fees. The committee makes regular recommendations about the current and long-term availability of funds for capital projects. The Finance Committee is also charged with the responsibility of recommending any changes with the membership transfer fees on an annual basis. The Mutual Operations Division, MOD, a division of GRF, provides services and maintenance support for most of the mutuals in Rossmoor. It establishes its fee structure each year to balance its budget, and the mutuals, the Finance Committee, and the GRF board monitor its financial performance. The Audit Committee plays a key role in GRF's system of governance. It works with both management and with our independent external audit firm to oversee GRF's financial reporting process. Another important Audit Committee responsibility is to monitor GRF's internal controls and risk management procedures, helping the board to ensure that we have appropriate policies and procedures in place and that we recognize and plan for significant risks and exposures that face our organization. The Finance and Audit Committees need new committee members who will use their life experiences to address issues and seek answers, which will help the board make its critical decisions. Now let's hear from the committee chairs themselves. First is Bill Dorband, Chair of the Finance Committee.
Hello, my name is Bill Dorband, and I'm the chair of the GRF Finance Committee. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the committee, what it does. The GRF Finance Committee acts as a financial advisor to the board and works closely with the Chief Financial Officer. We review ongoing financial activities, review projections in planning for the future, and make recommendations as to the availability of funds for activities and projects being considered by the board. At the request of the board, we provide oversight and analysis of the financial impact of long-term capital projects. The committee is composed of 6 residents and the GRF treasurer, all as voting members. The resident members are appointed for 3-year terms with 2 slots coming up each year. Volunteer applicants go through an interview process before appointment. The committee meets monthly. Meetings include a review of the operating fund, MOD, and the trust estate fund financial statements. We review proposals to the board to determine the availability of funds and the effect that a decision might have on the budget. We also review any proposals from outside vendors, such as contractor proposals, insurance policies, engineering studies, to advise the board about the financial implications of any decisions they may need to make. We participate in a joint meeting with the board in mid-September to help the board decide on the GRF coupon portion for the following year. Our position as the board's financial advisor puts us in a position where we are well versed on the details of GRF's operating fund budget and have a broad view of the impact of coupon levels on the rest of GRF's finances. In January of each year, we prepare cash flow projections for the trust estate fund. The board uses this to develop a trust estate budget by adding their decisions about capital spending for the year and into the future. A key component of that projection is the level of membership transfer fees we expect to receive from new purchases of Rossmoor residences. Then we continue to monitor the projections throughout the year. The GRF's Mutual Operations Division, MOD, provides administrative, maintenance, and repair services to the mutuals. It maintains its own finances and budgets, based on services desired by the mutuals. In December, we review the fees being proposed by MOD for the upcoming year to provide the board with our recommendation for approval. Our charter also assigns us the responsibility of annually advising the board on the level of membership transfer fees being charged and whether that fee should be increased, decreased, or remain the same. Given our regular review of the MTF revenue coming into the Trust Estate Fund and the capital needs prioritized by the board, we are in a unique position to make this recommendation. We are looking for a few good people to lend their particular expertise to the committee. It'll be interesting and rewarding serving with us on the committee. Now I'd like to ask Committee Member Jerry Yearout to explain why she is excited about serving on the committee.
Thanks, Bill. My name's Jerry Yearout, and I am on the Finance Committee. Just a little bit of why I was interested. The financial underpinnings of a complex organization like Rossmoor are complex and hard to understand, and I felt the best way for me to understand where I live is to become involved in a committee, and a committee such as the Finance Committee. It gives you an opportunity to dive into the financial details of all aspects in Rossmoor, both what Golden Rain does and certainly what the mutuals and potentially what the projects do. So you see how all of those workings mesh together and how our coupons end up supporting all these different activities. We are presented with a tremendous amount of data, and that data is very informative. And out of that data come a lot of ideas and discussion, all very thoughtful by this committee. It's a very positive experience to work on a committee where everybody's trying to analyze that data, come up with suggestions, and eventually, of course, make recommendations. This committee makes recommendations to the full board. And the full board then is the decision-making entity after they've heard this information and seen the same data that we see. If this is an interest to you, please join us. It's a great committee. It has a lot of committed persons. It's very interesting. We certainly learn a lot, and we do then get to advise and play a role with the board. There's another committee that also deals with the financial aspects here at Rossmoor, and that's the Audit Committee. And again, they deal with our numbers and they look at the year end and the audit. And Merrick Lipson is going to tell you more about the Audit Committee.
Hi, I'm Merrick Lipson from the Audit Committee. You just heard how the Finance Committee addresses the GRF's spending and projects. The Audit Committee has a different role. Our mission is to keep our eye on the GRF's financial reporting, risk management, and audit functions. In this way, we help the board to maintain Golden Rain's integrity and its financial credibility. One of the Audit Committee's most important functions concerns the GRF's financial reporting. Through the services of an external auditing firm, every year we evaluate whether management has prepared accurate financial statements. We review the qualifications and the performance of that independent external firm. We carefully monitor how it audits the GRF's financial statements. And when the auditors complete their work, we review the draft results in detail and advise the board whether or not to accept them. Our committee also reviews the effectiveness of the GRF's internal controls. Does it have appropriate policies and procedures? And are they achieving desired results? Is the GRF complying with applicable legal and regulatory standards? Do its conflict of interest and whistleblower policies work effectively? Another important role for us is to monitor how the GRF identifies and manages the many business risks and potential natural disasters that could affect it. Are key potential risks being identified? And are appropriate plans being made to prepare for them? Our committee consists of up to 7 members. One of them is the GRF's treasurer, who doesn't have a vote, but acts as a liaison for the GRF board. Of our 6 voting members, one must be a financial expert who has experience with financial reporting and knowledge of accounting principles. But we also need residents to serve with us who can apply their general knowledge and background with business matters. Members who can ask management pertinent questions about GRF practices and policies. The audit committee usually meets 5 or 6 times a year. Our sessions are important and satisfying, and we do need some new members. If you're interested, I encourage you to apply. You'll find details on how to do so in the Rossmoor News. Now, here's one of our former members, Mary Neff, to tell you why serving on the audit committee can be so satisfying and worthwhile. Thank you.
Merrick, thank you for the introduction. I'd like to take a couple of minutes now to share 3 major benefits that I experienced during my years on the audit committee. First of all, I met new people who lived and worked in my community. Some were GRF employees and others were residents serving on the audit committee and/or the GRF board. We shared a common goal and specific task as outlined in the committee's charter. I felt a sense of camaraderie being on the team. Secondly, during my first year, I learned about the GRF's internal controls and its procedures and policies for the annual external audit. I was impressed by the efforts of committee members who came before me. After gaining some experience, I helped the committee to recommend updates and improvements. For example, we proposed updates to the committee charter and the GRF board approved them. We also interviewed potential new external auditors, and the GRF board hired the firm that we recommended. As I often like to say, the fairy godmother does not run Rossmoor. It's the GRF staff, along with dedicated residents who serve on committees, boards, and in other volunteer positions. For me, the camaraderie, learning, and contributing made for a truly rewarding experience. And now I'd like to turn the meeting over to Dwight Walker, our new GRF president, for his concluding remarks.
As Mary Neff said, the fairy godmother doesn't run Rossmoor, and we want you to help us run Rossmoor. Volunteers are important to all of the GRF committees. You will be rewarded because you will be giving back to our community and making it an even better place for the future. Apply today. You can find all of the details in the latest edition of the Rossmoor News. Join us in keeping Rossmoor a thriving community. Thank you.